I'm a child of welfare and the public housing system. Butler Housing Project, Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, some would consider it at the bottom. I didn't consider it the bottom. I considered it a project, just as those folks who created did, that Butler Housing Project. It was a place where they tried to see what they could do when they put communities of black folks together, put them on supplemental food programs, almost corral them into this small space with schools on both ends, and to see how that project would work out. Well, in some instances, the project was a success. I'm a product of that project. I think I came out pretty good. Made my way up out of Fort Worth onto the Air Force and degrees and state government exec and federal exec and that sort of thing. I was the exception, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was luck that I got out. But I was a product of the welfare system and public housing. Some people try to paint a picture of it as somebody looking ratchet and all this other type stuff, and somebody who has no courtesy about themselves and ignorant, things like that. I'm gonna always stand up for my people. That is far from the truth. A lot of great people came up through the welfare system and public housing. And it's funny because some of those same people that we grew up with in our family back then, we're very close with to this day. That's the bonds we shared, because at the end of the day, all we had was each other. They called it a project. We called it just straight up black love. Look it up, Butler Housing Project, Fort Worth, Texas. And look at what that place used to be before Butler Housing Projects. Because before Butler Housing Projects, it was just this horrible shanty town on stilts, what they call shotgun houses. I think ex-slaves that ended up populating that area before the government decided to formalize it and call it Butler Housing Projects and turn it into red bricks and put running water in there, running sanitation and those sorts of things. But you were still in the projects. And they made damn sure you stayed in the projects, because even coming up, there were certain parts of Fort Worth you couldn't go to. You just couldn't go to. That time is long gone now. The projects are still there. I think they're trying to figure out what to do with those Butler Housing Projects. But a lot of great memories for me. Like I said, they call it the bottom, but for me, I was on top. We was on top. You know what I'm saying? And all of us that made it out, hey, salutes. Salutes. That's who we are. We're fighters. We're survivors. And at the end of the day, we just took care of each other. Y'all take care. Look up Butler Housing Project, Fort Worth, Texas. Interesting roots. Eric Brown, MOBO-Media. I'm out.